My name is Omar and this is the 2022 Volvo C40 Recharge. By the way, the reason that there were no animals harmed in the making of this vehicle and video is because this is the first Volvo to have a completely animal-free interior, meaning there is no leather in here because you can't go fully electric by hurting animals, I guess. Alright, so Volvo has plans for 50% of its global sales to be fully electric by 2025, with the rest being hybrids. And by 2030, Volvo plans to go fully electric, which if you think about it, really isn't that far away. But the C40 Recharge that I'm driving here will help them get there. This sits on the same compact modular architecture as the XC40 Recharge, and this platform also underpins the Polestar 2, which I've already reviewed, and you can check that out. And hey, if you like car reviews, and if this is one of my first videos that you're watching, welcome, and consider hitting that subscribe button. I drop new car reviews every single week, so you might enjoy yourself. So the C40 Recharge is also driven by a dual motor setup that makes a total of 402 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque. The dual motor makes this an all-wheel drive crossover, and the juice is provided by a 78 kilowatt battery, 75 kilowatts of which are usable. On a full charge of that battery, you will get a total range of 226 miles, which isn't bad, but keep in mind though, that range is quoted based on the best possible situation that you can have. Your real-life figures will vary based on weather, road conditions, and how much battery you're using for other functions in the car like media systems and heating or cooling. So how does the C40 Recharge drive? Well, after briefly driving the XC40 Recharge and spending quite a bit of time with the Polestar 2, this drives very similar to those two. It has a very solid and firm ride quality, but it isn't uncomfortable or rough. 0 to 60 will take you about 4.5 to 4.7 seconds, but you have a top speed of 112 miles an hour, so if you want to go faster than 112, you can. You've got one pedal drive like you do on most electric cars, and it's actually a very good system. I've been driving this around with one pedal turned on all day, and I've barely touched the brakes at all. Handling wise, the C40 Recharge leaves you feeling very confident. I'm driving this in Palm Springs, California, in the mountains of Coachella Valley, and it's taking these bends and curves in this mountain like a champ. You can actually increase the firmness of the steering feel, but you really don't need to. It's doing just great up here. All right, we don't have launch control obviously, but let's do a quick acceleration test from standstill. Whoa! Man, this thing really moves. You know, I love Volvo's ride quality. They feel so precise and so accurate without feeling way too aggressive or way too uncomfortable. Now let's do another acceleration test from 60. Man, that electric car feeling is unbeatable, and coupled with the handling that this thing has, this is outstanding. If you're looking for a car that strikes the perfect balance between comfort, handling, and acceleration, Volvo does it best. So yeah, as a daily driver, the C40 Recharge definitely doesn't disappoint. The cabin quietness is well taken care of. Visibility is great as long as you're looking out through the front, because the rear window has a sloping roofline, so the visibility kind of sucks back there. So if you're in the market for an electric car, should you consider the C40 Recharge over the competition? Let's find out. Let me give you a quick tour of all the cool and interesting things, and then do a quick pricing breakdown, and then I'll give you my opinion on whether or not if you should spend your money on one. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. All right, let's do this. Now, since this is an electric car, we do have to talk about how long it will take to charge it up. Using a regular level 2 11 kilowatt AC charger at home will take you around a total of 8 hours. However, if you're out and about and find a DC fast charger capable of 150 kilowatts, going from 10 to 80% will take you around 37 to 40 minutes, or the equivalent of 50 to 60 miles of range every 10 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty doable as a daily driver. Now, when it comes to infotainment and tech, the C40 Recharge goes the route of newer Volvos and Polestars with an Android-based infotainment system. Everything is housed in this 9-inch touchscreen display, which is very easy to use. You have Google Maps as your navigation, which is pretty awesome, and it has all the electrifying information built right in. You can find your car's battery charge level on arrival, get important battery alerts, and find charging stations right from here. You also have the Google Play Store, so you can go through and download other apps, and you also have Google Assistant, so you can simply ask her to do a variety of things like navigate to your destination or control other car functions like heated seats, climate control settings, and some other stuff. And yes, the climate control functions are in the infotainment system, but they aren't tucked away in multiple menu screens. You can just tap right here and all your climate control functions appear right away with nice large buttons, so it's very easy to control. You also have a pretty sharp 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster display with a full screen Google Map view, so that's pretty solid. The only thing you don't have is Apple CarPlay, and Volvo says that it is coming soon with an over-the-air update. Now let's talk about the lighting game, starting with the headlamps. The C40 Recharge has 84 pixel LEDs in each headlamp, and that will help you see basically anything and everything on the road. The reason this is so awesome is because while it will enhance your view, it will avoid blinding other drivers that are coming your way. Now the rear design of the C40 Recharge is where you'll see most of the change between it and the XC40, and that gave Volvo a chance to create these awesome LED taillights that perform a really cool welcome lighting sequence. Which makes me really happy because we finally have animated lights on a Volvo. So far, so good, right? The C40 Recharge is looking pretty awesome, but how much does this thing cost? Let's break it down really quick. Pricing for the Volvo XC40 Recharge starts at $51,700, but if you want to go for the more stylish C40 Recharge, get ready to pay around $7,000 extra. However, at that price tag, basically everything is standard. On the outside, you get 20-inch graphite diamond cut wheels, you get pixel LED headlamps along with these really beautiful LED taillights. You also have LED fog lights. A power tailgate is also standard. Hop inside and the C40 Recharge comes standard with this giant glass roof that makes this cabin look really nice. You also get dual zone climate control with an electric heater and cooler, so it won't take you long to heat up or cool down the interior like it does on some other electric cars. You get 4-way power adjustable front seats that are heated as standard. You also get memory seats for the driver. You have heated rear seats in the back so your rear passengers can stay nice and warm. You also get a heated steering wheel as standard. Tech-wise, you get this 9-inch center display with all the Google services that you'll need. You have that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster display as well. Sound system-wise, you're working with a 13-speaker Harman Kardon sound system that sounds really, really good. Like, it sounds really solid. And you also have a wireless charger. As for the driver assist tech, you have everything and more, including adaptive cruise control with Volvo's Pilot Assist. And you get lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, cross traffic alert, park assist, and a 360-degree camera. And you have to activate the 360 by tapping right here. So yeah, at that price tag of around $59,000, you're pretty well equipped. But let's talk about the exterior and the interior. The outside is very similar to the XC40, which I personally think is one of the best looking compact SUVs. The C40 picks the best parts of the XC40 Recharge, but spices things up with a sloping roofline that tapers off at the rear. And I'd like to take this moment and thank Volvo for not calling this a coupe, because every other brand out there that does a vehicle with a sloping roofline and 4 doors loves calling it a coupe. A coupe was and always will be a vehicle with 2 doors. But yeah, I really like the design. It's definitely one of the best looking electric cars out right now. Honestly, I think this looks better than the Polestar 2. Inside, the C40 is pretty much the same as the XC40 Recharge. However, unlike the XC40 Recharge, there is no leather on the inside of the C40, so you have fake or vegan leather seats. Volvo says that they wanted to make the interior with a high amount of sustainable materials, and that's what you have. The topography trim, which actually lights up at nighttime and it looks really cool, is made from recycled plastic. The carpet on the C40 Recharge is made from 100% recycled plastic bottles. That's pretty interesting. And then you have this felt material, the color of which matches the outside of the vehicle. So yeah, you can feel like you're saving Mother Nature while driving the C40 Recharge. You also have a lot of smart storage in here. Like the XC40 Recharge, you have a trash can right here, which you can remove and empty out when it gets full. You can hang a handbag right here from a hook that's hidden in the glove box. That's pretty clever. And you also have hooks in the cargo area for your grocery bags so they don't slide around in the back. So it's got a pretty simple and fun interior, but how's the space inside? Let's check that out. Hop in the second row of the C40 and you're working with 36.1 inches of legroom. You have a good amount of headroom, but your knees are touching the back of the front seats if you're about 6 foot tall. I'm about 6 foot tall. That is my seating position. As you can see, I'm right up there, but it's really not extremely uncomfortable. Let's check out the cargo capacity. You can pop the tailgate by using a button located right here. And once you get it open, you're working with about 14.6 cubic feet behind the second row. And with the second row folded, you're working with about 48.7 cubic feet. Not bad. And of course, since this is an electric car, you do have a frunk, which is a bit small with less than 1 cubic feet of space. So you're not putting much in there besides your charging cable or a baby. I'm just kidding. Don't put a baby in there. It's not safe. That was a joke. Now, before I give you my final thoughts on the C40 Recharge, let me point out a few random important things that I'll have to show all of you. You have 4 cup holders, 2 in the front for the front passengers, and then 2 in the back for the rear passengers in the center armrest right there. Here are what the keys look like to the Volvo C40 Recharge. Same old Volvo key with the buttons on the side, not wrapped in leather though. Door open and close sound from the outside and from the inside. Solid. Charging game-wise, in the front, you're working with 2 USB-C ports right there, and your wireless charger is right there. Second row passengers also get 2 USB-C ports right there. All right, and finally, let's do an indicator and horn sound test, this time here with the 2022 Volvo C40 Recharge indicator first. Same old Volvo indicator. Now for the horn sound. Is it gonna be tough? Oh yeah, it's not puny at all. Love it. So do I recommend that you check out the Volvo C40 Recharge if you're in the market for an electric car? Definitely, especially if you're in the market for a Polestar 2, or even if you're in the market for a gasoline-powered luxury compact crossover, definitely check out the C40 Recharge. Yes, there is that argument to be made that you can buy a Tesla Model Y long range for around $63,000 with a range of 318 miles and have access to Tesla's outstanding charging network. But that's an argument that you can make about every electric vehicle out right now. Believe me, I know that Tesla makes a very strong case for itself, but if you're in the market for something that's a little different, and if you're not a fan of Tesla, this C40 Recharge is a really good option to consider. And this has something the Tesla Model Y doesn't, a gauge cluster, and that's important to me, okay? And I think this looks much better than the Model Y. The Model Y still looks like a turtle to me. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. It definitely handles better than the Tesla Model Y. This thing is taking these bends like a champ. Like, I'm not scared that I'm gonna fall off the mountain or anything. This thing is doing great up here. And that one pedal drive really slows you down very quickly when a sharp bend comes up.